speaking of fantasy, and the little family league that the lovely Christy, it was her idea. She put it together, and then I have taken over as commissioner duties, and all that's meant is people throwing rocks at me all the time because we've got a bunch of people in the league who have no clue what they're doing. They've never done it before. So my poor parents, who are like 80 years old and sitting at their house, and they're like, we don't understand how to do this, but they're 49er fans. So they're like, all right, they got to like the 5th round, and they're like, we're taking Eli Mitchell. And everybody's just like, don't laugh at the... right? Don't like, oh my God.
I thought you told me they took Kevin Mitchell.
That
might as well
have gotten the same number of points yesterday.
Jesus.
So they're still starting Eli Mitchell.
Come on, Mom.
At the running back position, and I don't want to get all up into Mom and Dad's business.
What kind of a son are you?
Well, it doesn't work.
And you played him this week, didn't you?
I did, and I absolutely housed him. But you're
terrible. You're a terrible son.
It was already over on Thursday. I had T.J. Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift.
Well, then you could have reached out and said, Mom, Dad, just so you know.
No, but
Kyle hates him and stuff.
But you know what happens when you do that. Hey, Mom and Dad, you probably shouldn't be playing Eli Mitchell. If that happens, and something happens to Christian, Eli's going to come in and score 3 touchdowns, and it's on me. So I am super laissez-faire on this whole thing.
Yep.
I am out. I'm going to let it play out. You figure it out on your own. You've been on the earth for 80 years. You can figure it out. But the whole Eli Mitchell thing, not that he was going to score a bunch of points, it's a little bit interesting. There was the Pittsburgh game. Hey, Christian McCaffrey's in too long, some people felt. This time, it's 23 more touches for Christian McCaffrey versus 0 for Eli Mitchell.
0.
I would be a proponent. Listen, you can't play nervous, and Christian is your dude. So I am all in favor of a bell cow for the 49ers, but I'd be keeping Eli Mitchell involved for multiple reasons. Not just keeping Christian fresh, but keeping Eli fresh, because there might be games where you need him this year.
Right, and Kyle has come out and said we definitely got to get Elijah in there more and do better with our rotation than we did. That wasn't the plan going in. It just ended up that way. I got to make sure that doesn't happen. I don't see how that happens. And I know you've got a full array of coaches. You've got a running back coach, and you've got somebody who could tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, Kyle, Eli hasn't played yet, and you probably want to get Christian a little bit of a blow. Eli Mitchell, one of the few players to not play at all. At least Jordan Mason played, and I'm looking at the numbers, 17.
Special teams.
17 special team snaps. He didn't carry the ball either.
Right.
Christian McCaffrey played 100% of the snaps. 100. So he didn't even come off in any other personnel groupings. And I always hit you with the 21 personnel. I got to say it at least once a show. I'm contractually obligated.
Good job.
Which means 2 running backs and 1 tight end. And you can look at it and you see Kyle Juszczyk played 42% of the snaps. So they didn't even have 21 personnel a lot. They went to 11 a lot with the 1 tight end. They went to 2 tight ends at times. And they went to 3 wide receivers. You can see that Ronnie Bell played 47%. So they went 3 wides a lot. And I know part of that was when Ayuk was hurt.
Yep.
Juwan Jennings played 47%. Debo played 89%. But for McCaffrey, normally you see your 5 offensive linemen and your quarterback are all at 100% of snaps. Not your running back, too.
I mean, there's a lot to think about, I would imagine, when you're rotating in and out on the sideline.
It's not that hard, though, Mark.
Well, I don't know. I actually can't speak to how hard it is. I don't think that their brains are not wired to be like, boy, things are going well, and we got McCaffrey on the field. But you know what? We've got to get Eli in. But you're not wrong. They do. They do for all the reasons we just stated, and Shanahan admitted it on his call earlier today.
We definitely got to get Elijah in there more and do better with our rotation than we did yesterday. That wasn't the plan going in. It just ended up that way, and I got to make sure that doesn't happen.
I would love to ask that follow-up question. If that wasn't the plan going in and it, quote, just ended up that way, what happens there? That's just and I mean that from a truly, like Kyle, who loves questions because he gets to educate.
Yeah.
I would love one of those moments from Kyle Shanahan because I don't know how that works. I don't know.
Well, my question would be, whose job is it?
Right.
Because we know that Chris Kasarik on the D-line is responsible for the D-line.
Yeah.
And so you will never see a defensive lineman play 100% of the snaps because they have a prescribed rotation where I think the A's play 2 series and then the B's come in for 1 and then it's back to the A's. And it depends on the length of the series and all that. But if you look at the the snap counts for the D linemen. Bosa 79%, Armstead 68, Javon 64, Furl 55, Drake Jackson 50, all the way down. It's spread fairly evenly and predictably, and normally the running backs would be like an 80-20 split, but there'd be a spot where, all right, McCaffrey, we're going to give you this series off, or at least the first part of the series off, and let somebody else be in there. Who's in charge of that?
I don't know. I don't know what leads to that when he says, "Oh, it just kind of happened." It's like, well, why? I'm curious why. Although fascinating football game, I bet, and I have not looked at all the box scores, but I wonder if this happened in any other NFL game. Both starting running backs in this game were the only running backs to get a carry in the game.
The original running back was only a running back.
That's it. Like
nobody else got a carry.
There were other carries, but they were the quarterback or the receiver.
Gotcha.
Quarterback, yes.
Even your boy Puka Nacua got a carry.
Puka Nacua
got a tote.
Puka Nacua and obviously Debo.
Yeah,
gets carries, but only
Tutu got a carry.
Two running backs, not two running backs.
Well,
two running backs.
Skowronek got a carry.
Yep, that's another receiver.
Yeah.
So that's it. Williams and McCaffrey were the only running backs to get carries in this game. I don't think you see that anywhere anymore. Let's go to Joe in San Jose. You're on with Willard and Dibs. Hey, Joe, what are you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I just dropped my kid off at football practice.
Oh, nice. His first name's not Puka, is it, Joe?
No.
Okay,
no.
good.
Anyway, so yeah, God, where do I begin? This game was rough. I don't want to say that the Niners got lucky. I'm with Dibs on that, but fortunate, I think, is definitely a good word to describe what happened. I don't think Lenore should get a pass for how he played the entire game just because he got that right place, right time pick at the end. He was getting burned all day. Let's see. I really liked how Drake Jackson's playing. I liked something out of him. I'd give Purdy's performance, if I had to give it a letter grade, I'd give it a B. Let's say I think the reason why we're not seeing Elijah Mitchell is because I think the game was really close. I think Shanahan was a little worried about losing this one and wanted to make sure that he didn't. So but I think you're absolutely right. I think we need to have Elijah Mitchell in there more, and I think you'll see a lot of him on Thursday. I'm going to go to that game, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. So, yeah, that's about it.
Joe, come by and see us. We'll be at the Hilton from 2 to until
exactly.
But come on by and see us on your way into the ball game. We'd love to see all the listeners out there if you're coming out to Santa Clara for the Niners home opener. Mark and I, Willard and Dibs, Willie and Dibby, as some have referred to us. We will be live and in the flesh, baby.
We'll see who else we can get there too. Well, we're going to send out.
We had some ideas.
Yeah.
Should I back off on my criticism of 97 in hope of getting Mama 97?
Yeah, okay. She's not coming if you're there.
I'm not trying to bury the kid.
Overpaid defensive end,
overrated,
who's got no sacks. What's up with that, Mom?
Hey, Cheryl, come on by. You know I'm just doing radio, Cheryl. Come on.
I'll see if
we're friends.
Can we get her like a golf cart or something, Lucas? I got a feeling that Cheryl would come by, but not if we're going to make her walk. You know what I mean?
Especially if she's in Red Lot 3 or Blue Lot 2.
Maybe she's staying there. She probably doesn't want us putting that on the radio. But,
you know.
I'll
tell you what. I'll go early, and I got my new fresh shave. I'll work the lobby for us, Mark.
Good.
Let's go. Yeah, Grandy.
That's not creepy at all.
Hey, you. You look like a player's mom. What are you doing?
Lovely Christy will be there.
Okay.
So please don't talk to her that way.
Hey.
Please stand down.
Are you staying the night?
No.
I thought it'd be fun if we did like a slumber party the night before.
All right. Yeah, no.
This is a guy who's got a baby. So, I mean, anything to get out.
We are going home.
I meant the night before.
Yeah, no.
Right,
none of that. None of that's happening.
All right. Whatever. It'd be fun. I thought.
Get your own room.
We'll show bonding.
Good Lord.
3 of us, sofa bed, I don't know, whatever.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. We'll keep going on the phones, 888-957-9570. Nitpick if you want. I thought what Joe said largely was fair, made a whole lot of sense. I will say this, I did not love the comment, Diamador Lenore's interception was right place, right time.
Oh, great play.
I thought so too.
Great play.
By the way, there's something a little like functionally wrong with saying that. The job of a defensive back is literally to be in the right place at the right time. So when they are, you can't act like it's an accident. Like, that was a great play.
Right. So he gets dinged for being in the correct place at the correct time.
Right. Like, here's
a great take, Mark.
Here's where the take now. I thought what Joe said largely was good except for that. There's a great example historically. Was his name Larry Brown, the Cowboy DB that got the Super Bowl MVP?
Yes, correct.
Got the 2 picks in Neil O'Donnell in the Super Bowl once upon a time. He was in, would it be the wrong place at the right time? Yes. He was in the wrong place at the right time because in neither of those plays was he covering the receiver. O'Donnell just threw the ball in the wrong spot, missed his guy. Larry was standing there, boop, twice, Super Bowl MVP, massive contract, never heard from again.
Yeah.
So Lenore was in the right place at the right time. You got to give a DB credit when they do that.
Yes, and you see the route developing and you see where the throw could possibly go and you jump it. And you snatch it, and you get the pick.
Catch it. Yeah, hold on to it.
I did think that Lenore and a lot of the guys in the secondary, maybe it was by design, but they were getting picked apart. A lot of Puka Nacua, a lot of Tutu Atwell.
Yeah.
And, the Rams, I thought, had a pretty comfortable time of things for the most part for 2.5 quarters.
Not a great game for the defensive backs. I do think that the Rams had a very good game plan for some things that they picked up on. My sense is some of those things might be pretty fixable. I think guys were ending up a little bit out of position, some confusion in the secondary, guys getting in one another's way. There was a little bit of that. That's fixable. But yeah, you also have to give McVay, who is a good offensive mind, credit for noticing things, for a game plan, get the ball out of Stafford's hands quickly. Why would we let Nick Bosa just come get him just because that's what fans want to see? They did a good job, and the Niners hung in there enough to still get the win.
Yeah.
So, all works out.
I wonder if a blueprint was created by the Rams on what can work against this defense, and if the 49ers have the personnel to react accordingly and play a little bit tighter. I don't know if the corners are good enough to come up and play press. They don't play a lot of press man. And that would be a way to take away the short passing game.
Well, to talk about what the 49ers have the personnel to do, my sense to answer your question there or your comment would be that it's actually the next 2 teams coming in. They don't have the personnel to take advantage of any weaknesses that the Niners may present. Matt Stafford is so much better of a player than Daniel Jones or Josh Dobbs or whoever's going to be quarterback in the Cardinals by the time we get here. I think he's actually still a better player than Dak Prescott, too. But Dak and the Cowboys certainly will present some problems in 3 weeks. But in my opinion, you somewhat, I don't want to totally overlook the next 2, but you have those 3 weeks to fix whatever it is was happening in the secondary yesterday. Because these next 2 teams are not going to challenge you in the same way.
Right. They're not scary in terms of the passing offense, and with the Giants not having Saquon Barkley, who is going to be out for a couple weeks. Certainly, he's out for Thursday, and we don't know how long he'll be out, but that really limits what the Giants potentially could do, although it's tough to run on this 49er defense. That much we know.
Yep.
The flip side, and we can get more into this about Christian McCaffrey, I wonder how much they are going to look to use him on Thursday because he leads the league right now in total carries, and he's playing on a short week, and he played every snap yesterday. So I hope that Kyle Shanahan hears his own words and realizes this guy needs a little bit of a blow.
I hope he plays 3 quarters. That's what I hope.
And it's like 31-6 at that point.
It should be. The Giants are terrible. Do not let one furious fourth quarter rally fool you. Daniel Jones did a good job there. He did, and he deserves credit for it. He's got some gumption. All right, he's
moxie.
got moxie.
Thank you.
All right,
gumption and moxie have to go together.
He's got cojones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know what else he has? No other good players on the entire offense.
That felt personal.
I mean, Darren Waller is a good player, but often hurt. Barkley's now out. Your receivers, I think they've got some interesting, good young ones. Hodgins, this kid Justin Hyatt, looks like he's going to be a player in this league. but they have not been able to get the ball consistently to anybody on that offense. Their defense is giving up huge chunks. Think about it now. The Cowboys scored 40, and what did the Cardinals scored 28 in 3 quarters?
They were up 20-0. The Giants had given up 60 points this year before even scoring uno punto. That's got to be a record, Mark.
The Niners,
they gave up 60 before they even got a point.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that in terms of like your point differential.
Right, pick six and block kick
Weird
for a
stuff,
touchdown.
yeah.
I get it, but come on. The Niners have very little reason not to score on almost every drive in the first half of this game. And yes, the fourth quarter should be, Juan Toscano Anderson should be running the ball in the fourth quarter of this game. Leroy in Oakland. Hey, Leroy, you're on with Willard and Dibs. What's going on, man?
Hey, Willard Dibs, man. Hey, it's a pleasure to be on. I just wanted to say real quick, man, I'm a 49er fan, and it was a great game yesterday, man. I'm just proud of the guys, man, and the progress, and it's going to be fun, watching Sunday to Sunday, Thursday to Thursday, and watching this team just mature and grow up and try to make this run. I do just want to just nitpick just a little bit, and it's something that I've shared with you guys before, and I've shared with your coworkers on the radio. And it's Armstead, man. It's in the middle. I think we are that position away from not just being a good team, but being an elite team. And I've always felt like, man, we just got rid of the wrong guy, man. We got rid of Buckner, and Armstead was the guy who he's just not cutting it for me, man. We got to find somebody, man, that's going to be a stud in that middle. And I think when we do, hopefully Armstead comes along to play. But it's been too long, and we've been waiting for him to, kind of just come along and be that guy who they said he was, and he's just not materializing. So that's the only little thing I got, but great win for the Niners.
Yeah, it's interesting. Leroy, thanks, man. I don't know about you, Dibs. I sort of have differing views, and one of them is sort of what the view was when we're all at our most irrational, which for me is during the game.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're frustrated. And then sort of the after-the-fact view of the whole thing. In the game, what was frustrating me the most was the play of the defensive line, the inability to get home. I do think McVay had a good plan. I do think Stafford was getting rid of the ball fast. There's only so much you can do. But if we do go back to yesterday during the game, what was frustrating me the most was that. But as we get further away from it, I do look at it and I go, okay, keep this in mind. Aaron Donald, supposedly, until a week and a half ago, was the highest paid defensive player in the history of the NFL. Did not register a statistic. He did not register a stat in the game.
He had a QB hit, if you count that as a stat.
Okay, yeah.
But you're right.
They neutralized him.
Solo tackles, assists, sacks, TFLs, none of it.
Right.
None of it.
So, you got to kind of go not necessarily game to game on this. I think you can have the opinion that the defensive line wasn't great yesterday. I'm not going to take that to mean they don't have a good defensive line. This matchup, I thought, was well played by McVay. It was not good enough to win.
Right.
But that was that matchup. I don't have overall concerns about the 49er pass rush. Let's put it that way.
I don't either. And I think part of the defensive line that we need to focus on is the run game. And for the second consecutive game, they completely snuffed out the opposition's ground game. Kyron Williams had 14 carries for 52 yards. That's it. And you want to give Skoranek 11 yards, and Atwell had 5, and Puka had 4, and Stafford had 17 on scrambles. Fine. You still held them to 89 yards, and largely they were a non-factor on the ground. They didn't gash you for big carries. The long for Williams was 8, and yes, he scored a touchdown, but by and large, you controlled the ground game. And I think you're right about McVay and what he set out to do. He set out to neutralize the pass rush with that quick passing game, and it worked for 2.5 quarters.
I do think that the Rams had more success with it than the Steelers did. I mean, like Kyron Williams was moving it way better than Najee Harris was.
Right.
The Steelers could go nowhere.
Well,
That was a
they
brick
took
wall.
Najee's soul.
Yeah,
Fred Warner took his soul early in that first quarter with that massive hit.
Yep.
And I think Pittsburgh goes about things differently. And I do think the Rams are better than Pittsburgh offensively.
Well, they're more dynamic. They've got a better quarterback.
Better quarterback, exactly.
Yeah.
Better offensive-minded head coach, better scheme, and even without Cup or Coop, we know it's Cooper Cup, but it's a nod to Low Neal, who called me Saturday.
He did?
Typical Low Neal. I'm referee in volleyball, and
Go to hell, Dibs.
I see a missed call and then a text. Dibbers, call me, and I call him and sends it to voicemail. Voicemail box is full.
Dibers, tell him.
I am trying, Lo. So then I text him, Lolo, I'm trying to call you. Nothing. Call him again. Nothing. It's like, man, Lo, you got me again.
You're never going to hear from him again.
No, until next time he calls me. Yep. Dibbers, call me, and then it's same thing. Off to voicemail. The occupants, the mailbox is full.
That would drive me nuts.
Come on.
Call me. It's urgent.
Dude, I call him between matches.
Gone.
Nothing. Slow, Lo.
All right.